When Deltarune Chapter 1 dropped, I admired Ralsei and thought Susie was a pain in the tail. But today, 8 years later, my opinion's the opposite. Now, I admire Susie, while, at least in Chapter 1, Ralsei is an uncomfortable reminder of the unhealthy worldview I once had. Luckily, sharing embarrassing memories is kind of my brand now. Games didn't make me a people-pleaser, but they certainly enabled that bad habit. My mom taught me to put others first. Mainly her. Nintendo reinforced that lesson. Save the princess? Get a kiss. Do a side quest? Get an empty bottle. Help a neighbor? Get... oh, it's just paper. The takeaway was, kindness creates kindness. That's one way to rationalize people-pleasing. That is, having an emotional need to please others, often at the expense of the person's own needs or desires. So instead of looking out for number 1, a people-pleaser looks out for number 2 through number 8 billion. The idea that kindness creates kindness is based on moral desert, or just desserts. By dessert, I mean deserved reward or punishment, not the dessert I eat tons of. Moral desert is related to 3 fallacies that are also cognitive distortions, or unhelpful ways of thinking. 1. The heavens reward fallacy, or the belief that good deeds and hard work will be rewarded. So if someone does well at their job, they'll definitely get promoted. After all, every workplace is a perfect meritocracy. 2. The fallacy of fairness, or the belief that life should be fair. So if someone owes you a favor, they should do it. And if they don't, they're a terrible person. And 3. The just world fallacy, or the belief that life already is fair. So if something bad happens to someone, they must have deserved it. After all, it's not like the powerful take advantage of the powerless. In Chapter 1, Ralsei suffers from all 3 of these fallacies. As to the heavens reward fallacy, Ralsei tells Chris, not fighting will be rewarded with a happy ending. As to the fallacy of fairness, Ralsei indignantly says, ruining instructions is against the rules. And as to the just world fallacy, if Chris destroys Ralsei's manual, Ralsei says he'll make a better one next time, as if he deserved to have his manual destroyed. If Chris asked Ralsei, he'd probably agree to be a literal doormat. More broadly, like the old me and many other people-pleasers, Ralsei desperately wants to be liked. He leaves important decisions to others, and when they don't make the same choices he would've, he seems surprised or apologetic. A lot of people-pleasers dread rejection so much, they even get scared of simply hearing the word no. Indeed, although Ralsei makes clear he'd rather avoid fighting, he lets Chris skip the tutorial where he shows how to end battles peacefully. He lets Chris refrain from promising not to fight, and he'll fight whenever Chris tells him to, including right after he suggests that they show Susie how to end battles peacefully. I expected some kind of Easter egg dialogue, but nope, Ralsei's too meek even for that much. In short, Ralsei lacks agency, or control over what happens to himself and others. By contrast, Susie has tons of agency, at least initially. She goes where she wants, eats what she wants, and fights whom she wants. At the risk of sounding like Noelle, Susie rocks. Her actions aren't all selfish. For instance, Susie prevents Chris from leaving school, out of her concern for their mom. As Ralsei points out in Chapter 2, spoilers, Susie isn't nice, but she's still a good friend. Kind is when someone cares, and nice is when someone seems to care. Like Ralsei, I've realized being nice isn't everything. To quote Life is a Brief Opportunity for Joy by therapist Will Meyerhofer, people tend to take their lead not from how you treat them, but from how you treat yourself. If you ignore yourself, they will ignore you too. I used to ignore myself like Ralsei, but now I'm more like Susie. A big purple long-haired monster who doesn't let others push her around. To be clear, I don't think that Ralsei is a bad guy, or that it's wrong for games to reward good and punish evil. It's good for games to say you shouldn't murder people, especially kids, including monster kids. My point is just that game worlds and the real world are 2 separate things. So don't let games enable unhealthy habits. Instead, just make games your escape after dealing with the crumminess that real life can be. Real quick, I'd like to share some fan art I've gotten over the past week. First, by Sue Raccoon, a pic of us on the beach. Next, by Beto F2212, a pic of me Bluey style. Then, by Edgy Lemon, a pic of me showing off my hair. Last but not least, by Flame, a pic of me in a 3-piece suit. All lovely artists. Be sure to check out their galleries. Links in the description. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment about how games have affected you, for good or bad. Like and subscribe for more. And remember, people pleasers should please themselves too.